Hi, my love. This is going to be your mini tarot reading. For the mini reading, you asked, what can I do to create and strengthen a lasting foundation for a current relationship? So the reading, I'm going to be using the Healing with the Angels Oracle, the Connected and Free Oracle, and the Radiant Wise Tarot. So we're going to have a look at the relationship and what you could do to strengthen it to make it last. Okay? So first off, let's pull some cards to see the energy of this relationship. Just to see what we're working with before we pull for what we could do to strengthen it, okay? All right. So the relationship. So you guys have some powerful stuff coming up with this, with this relationship. What I'm seeing first off is that the energy of it is the Ace of Wands, which is really good because to me that it shows there's passion, okay? There's a lot of sexual energy, a lot of sexual attraction and passion with this connection that you have with this person, okay? So that's always a good thing. What's being blocked with it is the Ten of Swords, which is to me, there's kind of like, I feel like there's a battle for who gets the say-so in the relationship. There's a battle of who, you know, submitting to the other person in the relationship, that kind of thing. Like, I feel like there's like a power struggle there with the two of you guys. I also feel like it's forgiveness and endings. So I feel like there's certain things that maybe you guys keep bringing up from the past, and allowing those things to interfere and affect with the present. So that's another thing that's like another challenge that I'm seeing. Here at the bottom with the energy of it, I feel like there's with the World card. I don't know if the two of you had a recent breakup or have thought of breaking up with that World card perhaps, or there's a lot of recent endings taking place. And so maybe there was a graduation, somebody, you know, finished one level and they're moving up to another level with work. There's some changes and there's like some shedding of the skin I'm seeing happening here. And whenever that happens, it's kind of like you're personally growing, not only in your own life, but then also the relationship kind of shifts as well. It takes a turn. It's changing. And so with that World card stuff, you know, you got to also be willing to remold and mold yourself with in the relationship to fit these new changes. The Empress card, and then we have the Judgment card. So you have a lot of major arcana cards coming up, which is telling me that this relationship is going through major changes. Major changes, which is a good thing, but also if you are both on the same page, it'll be a hell of a lot easier to go through these shifts. Empress energy is changes with creation. This is maybe you personally figuring things out with yourself. You know, maybe you're shifting in your work life or your financial life, or something's changing in somewhere in your world. I want to be careful to say with you is be careful with mothering. Okay, like being too much of a mother to the significant other and not as much of a lover. Okay, so if you have the tendencies to be overbearing about that, like too nurturing, too motherly, too nagging, you want to make sure that that's something that you put in check with yourself, especially if you start to see this be an issue in the relationship. Let's put this more on the table, sorry. What else am I seeing here? The Judgment card. To me, the Judgment card is somebody is going to be receiving that phone call, that opportunity, that offer, there's going to be big changes taking place. Like I said, careers could be changing, schools, someone graduated, from college or whatnot. Like there's some big endings and some new big beginnings happening, big shifts in your relationship. Financial things can also be something of a challenge between the two of you. So if you're already arguing about financial stuff, this is another area to watch out for. And then also the energy exchange. How much of you are you putting into the relationship, and how much of them are they putting into it? So are you making sure that it's an even balance of the two, and that one of you isn't putting more work, more effort than the other person? It needs to be an even exchange. I hope that makes sense. So that's what I'm seeing with the energy of the relationship. So nothing bad. There's nothing bad. It's just kind of like just showing that there's a couple areas that needs to have a little bit more strength, and just a couple things, but nothing major. So let's go and pull for the question that you asked, which is, what can you do to create and strengthen a lasting foundation? Ooh, okay. First off, right off the bat, with the foundation of this relationship, there's a lot of people who have like their opinions, and their opinions are thrown into the mix of it. So that's the first thing I want to address, is that you have to make sure that your relationship is 100% between the two of you. It's okay to seek outside advice from people, but when you allow too many people involved in the relationship, it becomes messy. Okay, so that's one thing, is honoring the privacy, because we got a lot of court cards in this foundation, and that's kind of just showing me that there's a lot of people's opinions, and it sometimes it happens because we ask someone for advice, and that there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with asking for advice, but when you allow these people to have an opinion and to have their say so all the time in your relationship, it causes cracks. Okay, the other thing I'm seeing here is there's the element of water and fire that are kind of they're not facing each other, so to speak. So they're kind of not listening to one another. So I don't know if you and your lover are opposite energies. So that means like if you are a fire sign and they're a water sign, or vice versa. But I'm seeing that also as, if you want to build a stronger foundation, there needs to be combining. You guys need to meet each other in the middle, okay? You guys can't let fighting and all of that get in the way. You can't let that to crumble. So you guys do have to work on more so communication, okay? Because we have a King of Swords here, and a King of Swords is all about communication. So there needs to be communication. If you guys are definitely like opposites do attract, but opposites are also very hard to see eye to eye. The other thing that came through was the Tower card, and that's really interesting because Tower card for a solid foundation is complete opposite. And so what I'm seeing here is there needs to be changes happening in this relationship. You guys can't keep falling in the same old. You can't, the same old patterns, especially if this relationship was once a go before, and maybe you're trying it, maybe this is like the second time around. And then I could see that the Tower card making sense. It's like, okay, if you guys broke up in the past, don't keep doing the same old things that'll cause the same old cracks and breaks, okay? Anytime the Tower card comes up in readings, it's just showing changes, big change. And like I said, I was saying earlier, there's going to be some big shifts in this relationship. So as long as you guys are both willing to work through the big changes and allow change to take place in the relationship, you guys will be good. But you also have to work on seeing eye to eye, okay? And what I'm seeing here with this is just showing me like maybe the future outcome, like you see the future differently than your lover. And so this is also getting on the same page will be helpful for you too. We have abundance. We have the crown chakra. We have expectation. And you guys also have the sacral chakra. So another way to form a strong foundation with abundance to me is that goes hand in hand with the finances. So like I said earlier, I feel like the finances is a sore spot for you guys. That there's always arguing of money and the way someone spends it, or the way someone, saving money rather than spending it, or paying rent, or whatever the case may be. That money seems to be an issue here, which is it's an issue for every relationship. I'm not just saying that's I'm not putting the blame on you guys or anything. Like, that's every relationship. But once you know that money is an issue, it's kind of like working on the abundance of it. And I feel like it's like maybe you guys are fighting over the lack of money, or how are you gonna spend it wisely. And to me, the abundance is like seeing the flow increase. So working on saving your money instead of spending it. And that might be helpful with strengthening the foundation of your relationship. And then also I feel like abundance is kind of seeing your relationship in a new set of eyes and a new perspective. Instead of like looking at it from everybody else's point of view. Crown chakra is communication. Absolutely. It's communication. It's also faith, and having faith in each other, being a support system to each other's dreams. Okay. Expectations. Somebody has high expectations of the other, and when the other person isn't fulfilling those expectations, then shit hits the fan and you guys argue. So I'm seeing this card also as a sign of, you don't have to like decrease your expectations of one another, but make sure that they're rational. Okay. And then of course, for a solid foundation in relationships is having a strong sexual relationship. You guys have a very passionate relationship. I saw that with the Ace of Wands. You guys, like, sex is good for you guys, but we want to make sure that you keep that as a strength in your relationship. That's going to help you keep the foundation strong. Is having a strong sexual connection. If you two take things to the next level, there could be the growth of family too. The sacral chakra is creation, and then you also got the Empress card, so that could be mothers, like motherly, those vibes, like having children and all of that too. Trust just fell out of the deck when I shuffled it, so that's a big element too. You guys have to have a strong base of trust to have a strong foundation in the relationship. And that comes with having a lot of communication. So as long as you guys are talking and verbalizing what's on your minds, your hearts, and whatnot, that's where the trust comes in. That will grow. Forgiveness, I love it. So like I said, if you guys are arguing and you're holding things against each other, when you forgive, you literally say, I forgive you and I will not bring this up again. So once things are forgiven, you don't bring it up. It is forever locked away. And you're not supposed to do the blame game on that person anymore about that, whatever it was that you forgave them about. So if you guys tend to do that, that's another area you guys need to work on. And lastly, we have guardian angel, so protection. So having a solid base of protection. I also feel like spiritual, the faith with that crown chakra. I don't know if you guys are churchgoers or if you guys have like a strong spiritual connection, but maybe creating a stronger base with your spirituality will also be strengthening your bond together too, with that guardian angel card coming up. So, there went my phone. So, that's just something for you to consider too, because I feel like with the guardian angel and then the crown chakra coming up, there just needs to be a stronger, spiritual connection, and you and your lover can go about that in the way that fits you guys, depending on how you guys like to express your spirituality. So everyone's different. Some people go to church, some people don't, some people do other things. So that might be another area for you guys to work on, strengthening the bond between the two of you. So I wish you guys all of the best. Thank you so much for allowing me to read for you. If you have any questions, comments, or feedback you would like to give me, please send me an email. And anyone who's watching, this is a mini reading. You can go ahead and book a session with me by clicking the link below. Check me out, and I will talk to you guys soon. Bye, my loves.